I was interested in trying AMT because I really like visuals, but I'm not always in the mood for a super intense mind-bender like on acid or mushrooms. I have had some bad experiences with mushrooms where all I wanted was for the trip to be over. I knew that if I didn't like the AMT then I would have a very long haul ahead of me. So I approached cautiously like all wise people should. I spent the better part of the day preparing mentally. It had been almost 3 mo. Since my last, bad, trip. Finally, at 7:30 p.m. my friend came over with my dose. I didn't want all 50 milligrams that he had prepared for me, so I took a little more than half and gave him the rest. We then headed over to another friend's house for a housewarming party. The come-up took about 2 hours. I think I just barely took the threshold dose for visuals. I began wishing I had taken more. I told myself to enjoy this trip for what it is and try a larger dose later. Visually, AMT was very pleasant at this dose. There were streamers and auras around lights. They were very beautiful to look at. Closed eyes produced very slight fractal patterns and realistic-looking mental images that seemed to correspond to whatever thought happened into my mind at the time. I could play with these images at will by just thinking about them. Alien spaceships in the form of pyramids were just one of the things I saw in very real movie-like way. Mentally, I was in a state very similar to MDMA. I felt very empathic. Talking with people was not only easy, it was fun. I liked everyone. Even people I would not normally speak to I found myself talking to. I could have and, in fact, would have enjoyed talking to my parents, who I get along with quite well. This particular night marked 69 days to graduation, so there was a lot of partying and drinking all around campus. I found interaction with people in all various states of sobriety to be easy and quite entertaining. I can see why they say this drug could be used in a rave situation. There were also effects that I noticed to be unique to AMT. Body heat regulation seemed to be quite affected. Sometimes I was very cold. Other times I would be burning up. There was a slight rolling effect, but different than I have experienced before. Instead of moving in and out of reality, I would move between 2 different states of consciousness. One was a very dreamy, soft, comfortable place, sort of like a marijuana high, but without any confusion or mental cloudiness. The second was a very speedy, excited state where I wanted to run around and play like a little kid. My leg would shake uncontrollably and I would chew my gum incessantly. Gum is a very important thing to have with you on an AMT trip. Otherwise you will probably spend 12+ hours clenching your teeth. Both states were full of visuals. I'd say only 15% of the time was spent in the dreamy state at this dose. It's my hope that a higher dose would have more of that state and less of the speedy state. The last thing I want to report on is the interaction with marijuana. At 4:30 a.m., T+9 hours, I smoked an amount of pot that would normally make me moderately high. The effects were amazing. Some people had reported no synergy with marijuana and AMT. I found this to be quite untrue for myself. My trip became very, very cool at this point. Immediately after taking a hit I would get amazing closed-eye visuals. These were the first closed-eye visuals to have any color for me. Normally, I just get black and white checkerboards, etc. I saw little points of light everywhere, but each point had all the colors of the rainbow. The open-eye stuff also got more interesting. I could make out faces all over the ceiling and saw patterns in ceiling texture. The ceiling started to crawl and undulate as I am accustomed to on shrooms. It would be quite enjoyable if you like pot and are ready to take things up a notch in intensity. My friend has also noted that nitrous is very cool on AMT. I will definitely pick some up for my next trip. In summary, AMT was very fun. Take it with somebody, or preferably a group of people, so you don't get lonely after all the night's planned activities end and you are still going. The only possible downsides to AMT that I can see at this low dose are the incredibly long duration, which I found to be a plus. I didn't hit anything close to baseline until T+21 hours, and the extreme body load. You will be very tired and worn out for the next day or two, but still quite functional. Also, there were definite times where a bit of nausea would rear its head. But it would soon subside. Altogether, a good experience and very cheap, $5 for a nice trip if you buy a gram at a time. Try it if you are so inclined.